All right, this is an advanced language study method that I want to talk about that's helping me a lot right now. I happen to study Russian, but I'm going to keep this as English-based as possible so that people who at least know English can get the most out of this video and be able to use this method. So my background image is just a cool picture that's unrelated that I liked here. But starting on the method, so what did I do? I watched a video in my target language in Russian, and I'll throw a link to the video, but it's really unnecessary to watch the video unless you happen to know Russian and really want to see like what I was doing, but it's unnecessary. I'll just throw the link to give them credit because I watched their video. But so what I did was I watched a video about a topic that I was interested in, and I described what was happening in the video while I was watching the video. The topic that I'm interested in is physics. So it's a video of a guy showing how to solve a physics problem. And um, you'll notice that I wasn't taking notes from the video on how to solve the physics problem. I was talking about the video. That's key for studying something technical. Most videos you won't have to worry about that because what's happening is the content. But if I was taking notes in a class, like I would write very different stuff than what I'm writing now. Uh, so I think that's really helpful for technical videos and trying to study technical content in a foreign language. I'm just going to do the first couple lines here to try to make my video shorter, and I'll read the Russian and the English. I think I'll just do 2 lines. I think that's going to be enough to get the main idea. So, он скажет о физике, рука не двигается. And that means he's speaking about physics, the hand is not moving. And then after writing these sentences, um, I rewatched the video again. I chose a 10-minute video. 5 minutes would have been better if you're a beginner. 2 or 3 minutes is better, or just watch the first part of a video and not the whole thing. Um, but 10 minutes was the best I could find for the visuals that I wanted in the video. After writing these down, I took a break and I rewatched the video and I just listened. I just listened to the content and tried to understand. Then, without the video playing, I rewrote each of these sentences, giving more descriptive information, more detail. So once again, in the first one, I said, "Он скажет о физике." In the next one, I'll translate afterwards. In the next one, I said, "Человек, который записывает видео, преподавает физику." And so that means in the first one here, he is speaking about physics. In the next one, actually, the 2 lines both go with that same concept. The person who is recording the video is teaching physics. He's speaking about mathematics. And the goal here is to practice producing Russian. I want to produce as much Russian as possible. And basically, all I want to do is re-say the same thing a different way. So like here I said speaking, here I said teaching. Both words work, both words are true. There's no real reason to change it other than to use something different, to practice more of the language. The same is true for говорить and скажет. So the same verb, although here I think one is correct and one is incorrect, but I couldn't remember which one was correct for sure, so I just ended up using both, one in each time. The second sentence up here I have the hand is not moving, and in the second sentence down, well, the sentence that goes with that down here I have um, I saw his hand on the screen for a long time. It was not moving. And so you'll see all I did was I took the concept about a brief little description of what was going on in the video, and I lengthened the concept a little bit. I extended it. I gave a little more detail. I used different words. I changed it up grammatically. I took one sentence and split it into two. And so that's what I did the second time. Then I took another little break. I rewatched the video again, and I did this other method that I've been doing that's kind of unrelated, so I'm going to try not to spend hardly any time on it. But I rewatched the video, and every time I thought I heard a verb, I paused it I wrote down my verb, and as I'm writing, I just try to listen. I try to recall in my brain, replay in my head the words that were associated with that word, whether I can remember the direct object, the subject, some prepositions that were used with it, whatever. And then I press play. I write the next word, next verb. Uh, again, thinking about the words that were associated with it. And I just do that through the whole video. So this is all the verbs. This should be all the verbs used in the video. The odds are really good that I missed some. The odds are really good that at least a couple of these are not even real words because I wrote down what I heard. And occasionally it was hard for me to understand some of his things that he was saying. So some of these may not be verbs. In Russian, usually you can tell from the grammar, but anyway, that's enough on that. So I rewatched the video doing this. Then I did up here in the top right, I took one more time and expanded out the sentence. And yeah, I wasn't watching the video this time. I was just going off my memory of the video and expanding from one of my previous sentences into rewriting it again, trying to make it more rich. So I'll just read the first couple sentences in Russian and then I'll go through comparison for each one in English. Um, Физик записывал видео за преподаванием русского языка. Смотря эти видео, студент может узнать, как использовать формулу механики. Yeah, and actually that's enough. So that goes with the first sentence here. So comparing from one to the other, my first pass through, I said he is talking about physics. My second pass through, I said the person who is recording the video is teaching physics. He's speaking about mathematics. The third pass through, I said a physicist recorded a video uh, for the teaching. Oh, for the teaching of Russian. I that should have said for the teaching of physics. So okay, so I made a conceptual error there. Uh, let's see. Watching this video, the student may know how to use the formulas of mechanics. So you'll see what I did there. And there's a couple more things that I want to say. So when you do this the first pass through, definitely if you're able to, do not look anything up. I mean, if you're still in pretty early stages and you're trying to do this, you may have to look some stuff up, but make it your ambition to look nothing up. Use pronouns and such if you have to. And then, each time maybe you can look stuff up, but the longer you wait, the more pass-throughs you go without looking stuff up, the better it is. And then eventually, after you do a couple pass-throughs, if you want to really spice up what you're saying and look up some words you didn't know, look up some grammatical forms, even ask somebody to check a few things, and like a native speaker, have them check a few things, or do some proofreading yourself, like I should have did here. I'm really, it's funny that I wrote that. I wrote that he's teaching Russian, which he wasn't. He was teaching physics. Um, I'm not sure what I originally wanted to write there, but that's basically nonsense. The other thing is I tried to throw in, as each time as I go through, I try to throw in more and more advanced things. So I'm more likely to make mistakes, to be honest. So I intentionally threw in a participle here, which I really hardly know how to use. But I'm like, what can I add? What can I throw into this to really stretch my language usage? I'm like, participles. I don't really know about participles, but this is a participle that I think this is correct because I've seen this one a lot. Like either I've seen this one or the correct version that's close to this. And yeah, so I threw it in there. And basically that's enough, I think, to get the sense of this. The only other thing that you could do that would be super useful is to at some point tack on some questions about the video. And then to be honest, if you revisit it a couple weeks later without any of your content and just try to answer your questions from the video that you produced, that could also be super, super helpful. So yeah, thank you.